Well, good afternoon to you. I hope everybody's all right. The weather's handsome now. It's just warm and everything, just lovely. Just what the birds are nesting and singing and everything else. Everything's coming up roses, as we say. Be positive. It's going to be all right. We should have our second injection hopefully another couple of weeks. So I just want to also, while I'm here chatting away, I just want to say to Nicky Collymore up there Luggan, happy birthday from everybody down here Ale. And look after mine, Gary. Spoiler bit day. I know you spoiler most days, but just a bit extra spoiled today. All right. But enjoy your day. Look after yourselves. Stay safe, all of us. All right. Now, this one's a Liz Armand one today. And she's writing to her nephew and niece. Well, here we are again. Haven't been a bad summer, have I? Rich bit of sun. I've managed to go down under the cliff and shove my feet in the sea. Done my bunions a power good, although I did feel a twinge or two in my old back afterwards. Alfred had to give me a rub with a horse liniment. I don't know, I'm a bit fool sometimes, but as I told him, I never knowed I was a donkey. But the liniment done the trick, and the old twinges passed off like magic. Got a lovely bit of news for ye. I'm a great granny at last. Our Ethel want to live up Plymouth way, while her maid Susan have had a little boy. We never thought she ever would have a chick nor child, 'cause she's nearly 40. 'Twas a barrel surprise, I can tell you. Mind when Susan was born, I made some fool of myself. In they days we never had no telephone, so William, our Ethel's husband, said he would send a telegram to let me know when she started in labour, and the arrangement was for me to come right away, sending a telegram back telling what time I should be arriving. The telegram from William come saying, "Come t'once, William," so I was off as a long dog. On the way to the railway station, I called in the post office in Penzance. Now, I never sent no telegram before in my life, so I went to the young woman behind the counter and said to her, "I want to send a telegram, please, to our William up in Plymouth." Now, she must have said, "Go," sorry about this, "over there and write it out." But I thought she said, "Go over there and shout it out." I tell you, I felt a bro fool standing up in the post office full of people shouting like a Thatcher, "Arriving on the 4:30 train, mother." I was so overcome with it. They were laughing like piskets at me, so I shoved a pound note on the counter and fled. Of course, I never had put no name and address to this telegram. I was so flustered, and when I got to Plymouth, of course, there was nobody to meet me. I felt so bereft, I sat on a seat and screeched my eyes out. Then some nice young policeman come along and said, "What's the matter with him, mother?" I told him the tale all about our Ethel, so the next thing I knowed, I was put in a police car and drove all the way to Ethel's. I remember thinking that it was a good job I was up Plymouth where nobody knowed me, 'cause if I was home Newland they would think I'd been and took up. What a figure it all was. It'll be no immin and no ammin this time. Alfred and me going to see the new baby next week, and we're having a taxi. I was landing in Broad Caudle the other day. I was chatting to young Richard about old times, and old mother used to make figgy obbin and putty skins. I said as to, I tested pudding skins for years. And Richard said to me, old Aunt Sarah Ann, I reckon I can get them up the backing factory up Redruth. How many do we want? Proper, Joel, says I, get as many as you can. Now that was my downfall. Next day Richard called on his way home from work. There were some nice chaps up the backing factory, said they never had no pudding skins today, but they said when they did, they would deliver to you when they deliver to the butcher shop. Well, next day, I get a lorry pulled up outside the door, and two chaps got out carrying one of they transparent bags full of pudding skins. "Here's the pudding skins you've ordered, missus. That's £10 you'd owe." I was so scared I couldn't speak for a minute. I thought I was going to have a spasm. When I got my breath back, I said, "How many have you got there?" "Half hundredweight," he said, "and they'd have cost £10. But I only wanted a few for supper," I said. "That ain't what the young man asked for." He replied he asked for as many as we could spare, and we can spare £10 worth. I did manage to persuade them to take them back again, but when I asked for just a few for supper, I tell you the abuse of Balrag that went over my head was awful. I was called everything but a lady, so we haven't had our pudding skins after all. There's a pile of chat about these diets these days, isn't there? Alfred's cousin Clara come in to see us last week. She picked her time to come, dinner time it was. There we was, settling down to a rich plate of stew and dumplings, and she barely eyed our plates. "Of course you're killing yourself with that," she said. "All that fat will give you cholesterol in your veins." What do you mean? I said. Nothing that I'd fit will kill no one. Besides, said Clara, you are grossly overweight. You're much too fat. Well, I wouldn't want Sarah Ann to look at like you, Alfred said, 'cause you're a scrawny old fella I've never seen in my life. Your face is like two Ellens clapped together, and your nose is sharp enough to plough a furrow. When you get beside Sarah Ann in bed is like getting beside a rich feather type. What do you call healthy food? I asked her. Why, beans and lentils, vegetables, fish and seafood, no red meat, she said. That's the sort of food I'd eat, said Alfred. I see food and I eaten. So you go home, Clara, and have a nut cutlet or two and leave us we in peace. Clara took off and stacked out. Me and Alfred ate up our stew and dumplings. We had a lovely bit of apple tart and cream for afters. A dose of bicarb and we slept all afternoon. I can't see we changing our diet. Now, my dears, don't you be leaving too long before you write to me. I hope your appetite always so good as ours. Thanks very much. Take care.